God, I slept on my arm wrong, y'all. Never let a good rotator cuff go to waste, my friends. But you know, the only way to get better is to work that area, you know. Don't just like sit back and wait for it just to heal up. You gotta work it, like, so, like stretching, putting your arm above your head and stretching it out. I had a bad rotator cuff injury on my right shoulder when I was doing some electrical work, building houses and stuff. And the way I got over the rotator cuff injury was just swinging my hammer above my head, you know, stapling down all the wires and yada yada. So anyways, I figured I'd just keep using it, you know, just to see if I can heal it up a tad. Be out and about, y'all, taking a walk. I wanted to tell y'all a little car story, you know, to all my fellow gearheads out there, to all my fellow horsepower freaks and dirt bike riders and so on and so on. So my dad's always been like a hot rodder, motorcycle enthusiast, you know. He started off, he told me he had a Whizzer back in like the 50s or something like that. It was a kind of like one of the weird bike hybrids we have these days, but instead of like a electric motor, it had a little like 2-stroke or 4-stroke engine on it. So you'd push it, get it going, and then it would like start, you know, get going, and then you'd ride it, and that was called a Whizzer. You can check that out. But then he said he had BSAs. I think those were like 500s, kind of like a dirt bike style, hill climb style dirt bike, big bad boys. He said he had a few of them, and he also said that he had a few Harleys. So he told me about his Harleys were like, you know, 1950s, even, you know, I think he even said he had some Harleys like in the late 40s, like a 48 Harley or something, if I can remember correctly. But so growing up, I started realizing that we were getting some cool cars, you know, some fast, nice cars, and my dad had some pretty radical taste in cars, and we would go to the Woodburn drag strip, you know, all the time, check out all the races and stuff and different things like that. And so I believe, well, my first car was a 1984 Subaru GL. It was had a sunroof, automatic, digital tachometer, completely digital readouts everywhere in 1984, which was pretty cool. I lost the sunroof. You'd have to take off manually and like put it in the trunk if you wanted the sunroof off. And at the mall one day or something, a bunch of friends and I were hotboxing in the Subaru, and I took off the sunroof, but I didn't put it in the trunk. I just put it out on the ground somewhere, and we all got so freaking stoned that left the sunroof there in the parking lot. So then I had a car without a sunroof. I believe I had to put like tape or Visqueen over my sunroof for a little while. Show you this little rock pillar that I built. Seems to be holding up pretty good. Then I got a 1984 Chevy S10 with the 2.8 liter V6 4-speed single cab long bed. Pretty cool truck, you know, Chevy S10. It had like a 3-inch body lift on it, so it looked a little different. It was pretty cool. I ended up straight piping it, and you know, back in then it was fuel injected, so if you floorboarded it and you let off the throttle, it would go like almost silent, and then it would do this huge backfire that would leave a freaking ball of flame come shooting out the underneath your car somewhere or whatever, out the back. And if it were driving at night, you could see it would light up the whole freaking area around you. I ended up eventually blowing the motor, you know, blowing a rod or a bearing, main bearing or something in the motor, and pulled into the pad, you know, and just barely got it home. And then I guess, but anyways, moral of the story is my sister was going to college, and my dad bought her a car, and really sweet car. In 1991, it was the world's fastest production sedan in the world. So it was a 91 Dodge Spirit RT with 240 horsepower intercooled turbo motor in it, 0 to 60 in like 5.2 seconds or something like that. And so I you know, I had to drive the car one day, and I got it out there, and so you see all these cars driving around thinking they're all badass. They don't know I was driving the world's fastest production sedan back in 1995 and stuff. Back when I didn't even have a license yet. I was like 15, 16. And I ended up kind of not really stealing, but like commandeering the car from my dad one day when I was all kind of like under the influence of some, not really mushies, but like shrooms or something like. But I was with a couple friends, and I took the car, and thing about that car is it had so much power that it would stretch timing chains. And so if it stretched the timing chain, you know, and it went out of time or broke the timing chain, you know, the valves have that tendency to hit the head and bend and stuff. So that never really happened, but the chain definitely went out, you know, a couple times in that motor. It's an insane fun car to drive. Nice little sleeper. So we went around with that. I eventually wrecked that out in Central Oregon somewhere. Not really wrecked it, but just high centered it up on some sagebrush out in the desert. Left it there, and somebody towed it and everything. My dad got the insurance money for it, so he wasn't too pissed off about it. And then so yeah, we had a bunch of cool cars, you know, so that was just one of the cool experiences I had, you know. So anyways, y'all be good, stay high, stay litty, y'all. We'll be back with more horsepower talk sooner than you think, y'all. Peace the fuck out.